Hey there, I'm just going to do a quick video on some of the games that I'm letting go of at the end of this year. Most of them are because my kids have gotten older. My oldest is going into a senior year and my youngest is going into her 6th grade year, so some of these are just not applicable anymore. But I wanted to go through and say which ones I think were worth it, which ones I think I would pass on. Fraction More was great because it helped the visual differences between the fractions and helped the kids just have fun. I mean, it's war, so it takes forever, but I loved how it had the equivalents underneath to help them out, and this was definitely worth it, especially since I only found it for like not that expensive. We played it some, not as much as I thought we would, as all the games are, but definitely worth that moment trying to help the kids understand equivalency and fractions. So good use. Rolling America, this one's really beat up, which means we've had it for a long time. And there aren't as many cards left, though I did laminate some. The bag is ripping. This one's great for just brain. You roll and mark off things, so it's logic. I was getting it back when I was getting all the games in the world. Just couldn't resist. And I think it worked as far as like being a really nice little travel game to throw in your bag. As far as a learning game goes, it's nice for number recognition for smaller kids, and even though it says ages 8 and up, I think the ones that enjoyed it the most were usually like 7 or even 6, because they could play with the dice when we were traveling, and they could also mark. I mean, the deeper logic of understanding how to put the numbers not next to each other and stuff, that would have been older kids. But yeah, we got good use out of this. But we're done. And this also was for equivalency cubes for our fractions. Obviously, hardly used at all. Picked up for one of my last kids. And I mean, it helped her because she's a hands-on. Would it be like my A1? No, but I found it at the thrift store, so it's not that bad of a deal. I would trade out all of these fraction things for fraction formula, which I don't have in this pile, but that would be the one I would get, just one. It's more expensive, but it's lasted my kids, all of my kids, all their life, and they've really enjoyed it. Possum Educational Word Building Game. I liked this one, but my kids didn't love it, and since we have a lot of word building games, we're going to pass this one along to someone else who doesn't have as many word building games as we do. I liked this one. This one came, the kids were really big on poppets, or I don't know, you just press down, but you can roll and go for different kinds of numbers, and helps with number lines, all kinds of stuff, multiplication, subtraction, addition, however you want to play it. And since we didn't own any other fidgets like this, it was just a good toy for them, as well as a good math practice. But we are again moving on to 6th grade, and so this kind of math is just beyond or behind where we are currently. So goodbye, fun poppets. If my kids complain when they see this in the pile, I will take it back out so they can just have a toy. But as far as the math value, Prime Climb, so fun. Never played it as much as we should have. Found it at a thrift store, for which I'm grateful. Grab this one if you ever find it. The numbers show you what goes together to multiply out the number. So even kids who can't do the math yet can play this game. And it's a nice abstract. You're going up and down by rolling dice and finding out about prime numbers a little bit, but mostly just learning how to go back and forth, subtract and add and multiply and divide and all those wonderful things in a much more fun way to explain it. What I loved about these games, we would play them first, my daughter would understand the math, and then we would kind of introduce the bookwork behind it, and that was really successful for her. Scrambled States of America, I love the regular Scrambled States. I would pick it up if you can. This one's okay. They never really played it as much. And we're just kind of, I mean, we're not past the states, but I go back and forth between getting rid of this one just because we are studying history again next year with a 6th grader, but I think there's other ways that she's learned them instead that she would rather learn them, so we're going to let this go too. Mo Money, we own a landscaping business, so we thought this was hilarious. It's good for math, but my husband said it's too much like real life, so it is a business money game. It's good for entrepreneurship. It helps understand some of those concepts. We had fun with it again. If the kids complain that they see it on this pile, I'll save it for them. But I think as far as like a math and money game, we don't need this learning anymore. Peptide and virulence. These are science games from Genius Games. Highly recommend almost all their science and Genius Games. These were at the beginning of their journey into the Genius Games, and so I feel like there's not as much science explained in here, and there isn't as much. So if you don't understand the science behind it, it's really difficult to grasp what's going on. It is actual science. It is actual, like, my friend who is into science was like so geeking out over it because it's so cool. But for me, I don't understand some of the science behind it. I had to go like lean on the kids that had learned it from another book to come back. And the other games by Genius Games, they actually put the science inside to explain it to you. And so they have like one book that is your learning curve and one manual, like how to play the game. And then the other book is what the science is behind it. So I recommend all of them. These are cheaper. They're not as expensive. And they're pretty and they're just a fun game. But we have so many games. And we have other games that kind of do the same idea of virulence. We have like 3 games that talk about like giving people sicknesses and diseases, and peptide. They've come out with a couple other games that hit this idea better for us. So we finished our science unit this year with board games in the next month. And these 2 we did play, and we are glad we've had them. But if I went back to purchase them again, I mean, if I didn't have this one, I would probably get this one. Again, the science was not explained, and so it was but the games were okay, but it could have been any topic. Word on the Street Junior. I love this game, and I do not want to get rid of it. It makes me so happy. You are playing on teams, and you're pulling words back and forth to try to put letters off the board by creating words. The problem for us is that we don't have any more team at home this age. Our people are all too big. And I wanted to keep it, but it doesn't make any sense for us when there's other people that could probably get benefit out of it. So there are some games that we have enjoyed or learned from, and I hate getting rid of games, but I also have so many that I have to make hard choices sometimes. So here is my hard choice game as of right now. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.